If we're live now, let's just have a quick conversation. Janky and Missy, kind of introduce yourselves, and whoever wants to take the mic first, and just kind of give us your background and then your experience with Street Tech so far.
Yeah, definitely. Janky, you want to go first?
You go first. It's okay. We're good.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm Misty. I am in Texas. I'm a broker owner. I've been in real estate for a very long time, and I'm a listing agent. That's what I do. So with that, I have been using Street Text for almost 2 years now, and it has provided just an amazing lead source for lots of great conversations, tons of listings, and yeah, love it. Can't wait to dig into it.
Yeah.
So mostly sellers you've been using it for?
Yeah. Yeah, I did run some buyer ads, and those were really good too, but I like home value leads. They're my jam. So
they're your jam. Awesome. All right, and we'll dig deeper into that as well. And Janky, what's your experience? Take us to the beginning before you kind of get into like how your successes with Street Text. How'd you find us? How'd you learn about us, and take us kind of through that embryonic experience from the very beginning.
Absolutely. So before I start that, I do want to say that, well, of course, my name is Janky. I'm the moderator for the group for LabCoatAgents as well, just like Misty is. And honestly, I've been in real estate for about 18 years, but I want to go back all the way to how, my story might resonate with someone here, that I lost everything before I began to build what I have today and continue to grow. I lost my home about 10 years ago, right, to foreclosure, and lost my 401k and everything. So now fast forward to moving to California, I try to get help from everyone and anywhere I could get help, and I had no luck. And I started slowly but steadily working with buyers. I became an expert in practicing scripts, building those relationships. And I found Street Text just not even, I think it was March, right, Marcus? March or July, one of those months. And in the beginning, I was just not open. I was very just turned off and saying, this is all fake. This is all leads that are BS. And I don't know, Marcus, if you remember that, right? I was very turned off, and Marcus was my coach and still is my coach. And I just didn't want to give it a try. I didn't bother with any of their systems. That's how bad it was. Okay. And here I am today, Misty and Marcus and Ira. I'm talking to you guys and just being the cheerleader for Street Text, because I love the system, the tools, everything. And I am here today just to let you know how wrong I was, right? I'm admitting it to everyone out there. And when you have a negative mindset that these leads are cold leads and these leads are not going to work, you know what? It starts from right here. I gave it a thought and said, I'm going to try to do this. And I started focusing in on each lead, not because I wanted to get the end result, because I wanted to build that relationship. And I focused in on the listings, and from the listings came the buyers, and from the buyers, it kept on growing. We're about 20, if I could even share the office boards with you, we're at 25 pre-approved, ready to go buyers. Yesterday, I couldn't even be on Facebook or give an input. My admins were doing all of that. But yesterday I was working with writing 5 offers, 3 of them from Street Text, 2 of them from another source.
So Janky, that's, crazy, amazing. And some people take a longer time to make that transition. So you started in July, like when you look at actually starting with Street Text, getting leads and ads, it is actually a really short transition in terms of working with top of funnel leads on Facebook. But what would you pinpoint as, like you said, that something changed? Was there a particular moment or mindset that flipped over when it came to these types of leads?
Right. There was a mindset shift, because I said to myself, if I'm going to spend this kind of money on Facebook leads, what am I doing in return of investment? What am I really doing to actually share my results to myself? It was first within me. I had to build that mindset of the negative to positive, and I needed to to step up and say, listen, this is not me. I need to give these cold leads a try, and or these online leads, because I was a firm believer, a skeptic, so to speak, of not believing on online lead generation and thinking our businesses are only based out of referrals. I remember one of the top producers here told me, if you're not doing referral business from your clients, you have no business. This was about 7 years ago. He said this to me. And that was a mindset shift that I had to make within me. It was a self-talk conversation I had to have. And I'm sure many of us have had that conversation, right? And so that was the first step into saying, what is it that I want to achieve? What is it that I want to do? What kind of business goals do I have from online leads, right? And what kind of relationship do I want to create with these leads that we call them? I think that is something that all of us don't seem to understand. We're running after that check, or we're running after that conversion, but are you really building that relationship? Misty, I know that, when we go on listing appointments, what do we talk about? Are we just talking about their house, right? We want to build that relationship. And I think that's so important that people don't understand. Realtors sometimes don't understand that, it's not only about getting that end result all the time. It's actually creating that process, creating that system, building that relationship. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not. I'm sorry. What kind of conversations are you having? I can get really passionate about this, but what kind of conversations are we creating?
Yes. I love that. I think we ultimately get so excited for leads that we forget that we actually have to reverse engineer the process and think about, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. Ultimately, you have to start with contribution and develop a relationship. We call it the know, like, and trust model, because when someone's scrolling down their Facebook newsfeed or Instagram in this common Facebook lead that you're getting, you're literally digitally door knocking. Okay, so the moment they click on that ad, you have their attention. Mm-hmm. Now, is anybody on Facebook today? Especially today, as we know what we're this is an incredible historical day, but are they on their Facebook scrolling down their newsfeed really thinking about anything about buying or selling? Absolutely not. It's entertainment. It's just passive scrolling. I'm bored. I'm just trying to tune in to see what everybody's talking about, given the atmosphere we're in right now. And so when you catch them off guard and they click, and in this case, I'll use your ad, for example, what's your home really worth? Mm-hmm. And your address, receive your home value. They're like, oh, I want to know what my home value is. And so everybody starts with that attention, but can you then narrate and create an experience the moment they click on that ad that feels authentic, genuine, right. All about connecting with that person, seeing them as an individual, not, if there is anything salesy in that moment, anything feels like you're just there to sell their home, gone, done. You've lost the opportunity. Someone else will connect with them in a more discovery way. So that's why when we say reverse engineer the process, don't just go out there and run a bunch of ads and start generating leads. Everybody can, and everybody does when they start with Street Text. They're quickly hooked on the split test and the fact that our funnels produce faster than any other funnel out there. Actually, 6 out of, or 7 of every 10 clicks become a submission if you're doing it right. Right. Now, at the other side of that, you have an opportunity to connect with somebody. And so when they get into their inbox, when they get that first text message from you, when you pick up the phone, do they really feel like you're in it for them? Or do they feel like you're just trying to sell them something? And so we talk about that from the beginning to the end. If you think about that process, the way you introduce yourself, the way you ask questions, the way you pick up the phone, the video email that they see when they get in there, even the way your AI is communicating and your ISA is, if you have teams and so forth, everybody's got to get on the same page and talk about what contribution looks like, what it feels like, what that experience is, and then start thinking about the key integrations so that you are working smarter, not harder. So you're not spending time just producing CMA after CMA after CMA, because that's gonna get frustrating really fast. So walk us through that, Jakey, because you probably started with, most likely, if I just show everybody what you're doing, you most likely started with something that like look and felt like, what's your home really worth? Enter your address, receive your home value. And so that's the experience from the homeowner's perspective. So once they click on that, where does your process begin? How do you look at every single opportunity, starting with the address, moving through the email, and obviously picking up the phone and making the call?
So like I always say, and I've written a system down this past weekend, that's all I did on Sunday, I believe. All I did was write down systems, right? Because we're moving at such a fast pace with these leads. So creating and building the system is important to me. What kind of conversations are you having with that lead? Now, and also looking at who you're talking to depends on, whether you can, look at the disc profile and kind of, we talked about this, Marcus, right? And it was fun talking about it with Street Text Insider in our mastermind. What kind of conversations are we having with our clients, and how do we know what kind of disc profile they are in that quick 5 seconds that you have, and 5 seconds of attention span that you have of theirs. So basically, when we get that lead, if it's a full submission lead, meaning they have their email, their phone number, speed to lead matters, right? So we pick up the phone saying, hey, thank you so much. And, I can go back into script play, role playing and all that. I don't want to dive too much deeper into it. But, I pick up the phone and say, hey, I was just calling to say thank you for clicking. Thank you, right? You're thanking them, saying thank you. Again, coming from an area where you're thanking them and their guards finally come down. That word has some strength to it. So I thank them for coming and visiting my, clicking on that ad. I would love to go ahead and see what your home evaluation is. And I know you're probably just coming out of curiosity. So I'm going to send this over to you. And that's it. If there's anything I can do to help you, please text, email, or call me. I'm here to answer your questions. That's it. How are you doing and all of that good stuff, right? Just coming and saying thank you to them for clicking on the ad, and then saying, hey, I'm going to provide you this information. I don't want anything back from you, right? So that is how I take my first phone call. Now,
Okay.
We have a system, day 1, day 3, day 5, day 7, day 10, all the way to a 30-day system, whether it's address only, all full submissions, all of that. We have created a system of exactly what I do. And that has been successful for us.
So let's take it way back for a second, because someone just asked, and you guys can both answer this, Misty and Jakey, from your own perspective. Give us an idea for everybody who's just joining right now. What is Street Text? What's the program? Like if they're just trying to figure out what we're talking about several of these right now, but how would you describe what Street Text is?
Misty, go for it.
Yeah, so for me, it's just an all-in-one. When I found Street Text, I needed a place to go where it could be done for me, where I could get good quality leads, where I wasn't responsible for knowing all the algorithms and all that crazy stuff behind the scenes on Facebook. So when I went searching for it, what I found and what it is, it's an all-in-one. It's a CRM. It's a one-click, run your ad, done for you, pretty much easy. And then it just integrates. All my leads go right into my database. And I don't have to worry about getting back in the back end of my Facebook ads, running all these crazy ads. It's just so time consuming. For me, I log in, I pick my ad, I run it, I split test it. I can see very, very clearly if my ads are working or if they're not, and if they are, keep them running. So it's just easy home value leads and buyer leads that are done for you pretty much.
And the way I describe Street Text, for me, it's a platform where you can engage with all of your online leads. They have their own CRM, like you said, but I also take it a little further. I actually have integrated my CRM into it. So when the lead comes in, it doesn't only go into my Street Text, CRM, but it also goes into my own CRM. From there, my ISAs pick it up and they make their phone call. Again, keep in mind, if they're saying 1 to 3 months, I'm the one who calls them immediately. 3 to 6 months, they go the next day, my ISAs pick up the phone and call them. It just depends what kind of lead it is, right? So how would I describe Street Text? It is a company, it's a group of coaches that will help you through the process as well, because we all get assigned to our coaches, which they're fabulous. And they have masterminds where we talk about our challenges and we talk about what has worked for somebody and what has not worked for somebody, what kind of scripts they're using, what kind of ads that are working. Marcus, Ira, Troy, all the coaches, Jonathan, they're amazing coaches out there, and they're there to help you. They also have something called tweaking, ad tweaks. They actually have certain classes as well. They have courses, which of course we're going to be introducing my course to everyone pretty soon through Street Tech. So it's not only like, oh, online lead generation or, a CRM and you do it yourself. They actually help you. And these are the courses I'm talking about. They have different sections to where, hey, am I one-on-one conversion challenges? Let's click on that and let's, find out how the coaches can help me convert, right? Ad tweaks, custom ad tweaks. You have $1 million listing now. You want to brand it out. That's what you go on. And one of the leads I did do a custom ad on, and that has been the best ad for me actually, which is 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom downstairs. And that has been phenomenal buyer ad lead for me as well. So, it's all in one, so to speak, buyer, seller, conversions, and they help you.
Yeah, I think we like to call the Facebook Ads Manager the labyrinth of frustration and confusion. And I mean, realtors, you're doing everything as an agent. I mean, you are all over the map. Your days are crazy. You can either give your Facebook marketing to someone to run for you inefficiently. Like we've all had that, like we paid someone all this money to do it all for me, and then you just get the results and have to deal with it. Where we kind of want to put you in the driver's seat. So it's like, here's the Ads Manager on Facebook. By the way, don't go and use it. Don't go into it. Don't try to drive it. Don't try to push on buttons. Come into our dashboard. You can push on the buttons here. They're all safe. Use stuff that works.
Exactly.
And get ad results that actually get something on the other end of it. And then I think the big transition point, if you're going to take a Facebook click and turn it into an actual business transaction, that's where the disconnect is. We can always get an ad to work in any market. The problem is it's just business. It's just like an agent disconnect. Like, where does that happen? And you have bridged the gap, Jenki. You have bridged the gap, Misty. And I think that's the missing ingredient for a lot of people.
Right. And I think the main thing is, well, how do you bridge the gap, and what kind of conversations are you having when you're bridging that gap, right? I think I just saw someone asking about FSBO. What is your first text to FSBO? What is your first script to FSBO? That is all about, look, come from contribution, and any source that you get out there, whether it's FSBO, Street Text, whatever other sources you have, come from contribution. Tell them you're there to help them, achieve their end goal. Trust me, that'll go a long way.
Well, how did your communication change from like before that you felt like it wasn't something that was going to work to next? Like, how did that conversation, because we say an ad is not about you getting presence on social media. Right. An ad is about you starting conversation. So how you handle that conversation, like what you had a mental mind shift. How did you decide to handle the conversation with those leads that changed, that gave you the success that you're having?
Can I tell you honestly what it was? It's actually meditation. It was meditation for me. And I'll talk about that in our other webinar on Friday. But more than anything, when you asked me about that mindset shift, when I was frustrated, I had to look at what the type of lead it is. What kind of lead is it? Is it providing me with email and phone numbers? Then what am I doing not taking advantage of what I'm paying for, right? That was a self-talk. And I go back to that, Ira, because it's so important to understand that if you don't work it, it's not going to work. Look, farming is stinky, but you got to farm. You're door knocking digitally, you're door knocking physically out there. And how many doors do you have to knock before you get a yes, I'm ready to sell? Thousands of doors, right? Or even hundreds of doors, whatever it is. But you have to do the work in order to see some sort of a return. And if you don't do it daily, consistently, and be persistent, it's not going to work.
Mentally prepare yourself for the no's.
Exactly. you know, like my coach says, and I have my coach, Sean Kokoska is my coach. He says, some will, some won't. So what? Keep going. And that was a mindset shift I had to continue. And that's what I do every single morning is I do, whether it's morning or afternoons, depending on my ISA team, we have started doing role plays. We've started doing script practice for 10 minutes, only 10 minutes. I guide them to listen, this is the leads we need to call in our database today. This is the script you use, go. And, you know, they will, yesterday they converted 5 street text leads. And I got messages on my phone. There's a rah-rah. Of course, everybody gets happy when leads are converted, right? And out of the 5, 2 of them are seller leads, right? So we have set seller appointments for us as well. So it's being consistent, being persistent, and asking the right key questions. And mindset shift. Just because you get a no, don't give up. Just because in the trial period you get 20 leads and you don't know what to do with them, it's not about quality. It's not about quantity. I say it's about quality. Wouldn't you agree, Misty?
I would agree. And I love what you just said. I had the same mindset shift too. So it was one of those, I love home value leads. I've always looked at them as, you know, it's a great way to fill a database, drip campaign on them, and maybe someday they'll kind of become hot leads. But what I found and my mindset shift was, oh, wait, some of these people actually want to do business. I mean, I started listing them right off the bat. Whereas my mindset was, oh, these are cold and I'm going to let them sit and nurture and maybe I'll follow up and maybe I won't because we're human, but I'm going to do my best. And then I'll never forget. I mean, it was probably one of my first 10 leads that came in. I called him and he was like, yeah, actually, I need to sell my house. I'm leaving town. Don't know what to do. And I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm on to something big here. So that was a huge mindset shift.
Right. And it's so important for us to know that even if they say no, it's okay, right? But if you don't have that mindset shift within you, it's not going to work. And I talk about this too. We created a system about what is it every day and how serious are you about your business, right? How serious are you about your business to actually take it to the next level? Talk is cheap. Everybody can say, listen, yeah, I want leads, I want business. But what are you consistently doing in order to take it from A to B to Z? Mm-hmm. What is your system there, right? So I even talk about a little bit about my mindset every morning. This morning was tough because we wrote offers and 2 of them got rejected. It's okay. They're first-time home buyers. This was the first home I showed them out of 3 homes. They liked one, and this was a street text lead, by the way, but they were not their mindset was like, well, I don't want to go that over asking. Of course, we did all the coaching guiding. They were ready. They wrote the offer on the first try, guys. First time we showed them homes. How many homes are you showing any lead that you get right now? We only showed them 3 homes. We talked to them, coached them, did consulting with them, and they lost. Of course, they lost because they only went 65,000 over asking, not 120,000 over asking. So, and it's okay. It's okay, right? Because they need to experience this. So this morning was a tough battle with that mindset shift, Ira, that we talk about, and Marcus, that we talk about so much. It was doing the affirmation within me to say, you know what? It's okay. And who am I? Have that self-talk before you pick up the phones. Have that self-talk. Be positive minded and know that that lead that you're calling, or the person is a person, right? And know that the person you're calling is not necessarily waiting for your call, but if you open up with saying thank you and hey, I want to give you something. Here is a 1-page CMA for you. I'll be sending it in the mail or snail mail, whatever it is, or even email. How open will they be to saying, oh, you're not here to sell me anything. Thank you.
100%. I mean, and it's really overwhelming in the beginning when you've never done anything like this before and you're trying to figure out where to even begin. And I think ultimately I was seeing someone say, well, is coaching a requirement of your program? It's not a requirement, but it's a freaking recommendation, because if you don't, you're going to recognize it's an elephant and you're trying to eat that elephant and you have to take it one bite at a time, because there's so many moving pieces. There's, okay, we have to adjust to 15 miles, right? Not everybody doesn't know this coming into the top of funnel, but you're thinking, well, 15 miles, what's 15 miles? Well, 15 miles in a place like Houston or LA or even in the Bay Area, all of a sudden puts you into 10 different towns and millions of people. So you have to start adjusting your ad image and your ad targeting to reflect that. And then there's the actual, how do you test these ads and the split test them? And you can see clearly, you know, as I was going into your ad account, you have 3 seller ads going on. Every one of those producing different results. This one's got $1.66 cost per click, and this is in the Bay Area. You're getting $2 addresses, $5.94 emails, and then, you know, who knows, probably something like $15 phone numbers. This one, $3.29 and $9.69, a little bit higher. And then this last one, $3 and $10. Ultimately, if you're running 3 ads at a time, you then also got to recognize, do I keep them all running? I've seen, you know, an example of a not so fortunate situation where with this gal in Houston, 2 great performing ads. She had 6 running for the entire week. One of the ads was producing a $60 email, and it's the same exact ad in a split test. And this is comparing to one that she was getting $1.33 addresses and a $60 email. But you're learning the hard way if you just let an ad continue to run. With that being said, then you quickly realize it's not about just lead generation. You're shifting into the, well, what's the experience I'm providing the moment that that homeowner gets into their inbox? Do they feel like I'm authentically connecting? What about the automatic text message? What's my scripts look like? You know, how do I find out how to create a conversation with somebody who, quote unquote, is just curious today? As we know, just curious is often a defense mechanism. So it does entirely come into, okay, smart systems, integrations like BombBomb, HomeBot, you know, and whatever CRM you're using. But ultimately, the first week of this is all about how to create connection with these people. What are you going to send in the mail? How do you address something that you want to be open in the email, but you're not getting it open? So where do you send it from to create tracking behind it and make sure it's effectively getting communicated if it's being sent both automatically? What do you send personally? What do you say on the phone? What is your text messages doing? How is it integrating with your systems? What about your mailers? There's so many moving pieces.
Right.
And so you think you're just going to come in here and start setting it and forget it and generate leads. You're going to quickly realize, oh, shoot, no, I need some coaching. More importantly, let me be a part of a community that's, you know, already doing it. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I can study them and make it my own and then start incorporating that into my process. And that's why we obviously came to you, Janky, to build a course around this.
Right. And I think it's so important to really understand what Marcus just said. I have signed up for an ads tweaks class. I do it I'd say every other week. I am totally focused on, I continuously tell myself, listen, tweak your ads, and who best to go to would be your coach or would be someone who is actually doing that, you know, that ad tweaks class. I still do it. I do it every week or every other week. I am always checking in on my ads. And once it's working, I don't mess around with doing tests and all that other stuff because I know what's working. Why do you want to mess around with something that's working? So one of the ads that we have is 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom downstairs, because that's very popular here in the Bay Area. Know what kind of ad to create. And when you do a custom ad such as that, and let it sit there and let it flow, it will give you the results. This is where we're getting the most phone numbers, most email addresses, most connections with our clients because, you know, it is actually something that people want here.
This ad right here?
1 bedroom, 1 bathroom downstairs. Yes, that's the one.
I mean, it's nothing impressive and you're getting results.
Right.
Well,
nothing impressive, but yet that's giving us results, right? Each of your ad, it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be a custom ad, something simple that makes it all done. And then what is it in the back end that you've created that's actually working? This is my website, but in the back end, I'm not bothering them. I'm not messing with them. I'm just saying, listen, here's the information, again, coming from contribution, giving them what they want, constantly providing that information. You can automate it. My ISAs, they call the leads and they say, hey, you know what? I'm so glad you clicked on this ad, and then they could dive right into their script. So even with our seller leads, we do the same thing, provide them information that they're asking for and leave them alone. Follow the system, day 1, day 3, day 5, day 7, day 10. What are we doing? I'm sure Misty has something of that sort too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you both before we move forward because we're getting some questions. Mike wants to know what is it that sets StreetText apart from competition, or for them just doing this themselves and generating leads, you know, and what's the process?
Well, I will go first on this one, Misty, because I feel very passionate about this. Is what tears them apart? The fact that they have coaches. Look, we're not here to cheerlead them on, but we're talking from success, right, Misty? And we're talking from experience. They are there to provide you coaches. They're coaches that they provide you all that. And I don't know if I need to repeatedly say it, but Marcus just showed what they provide. They have different kind of courses you can go, or class masterminds that you can go to. Plus, every week they have the conversion mastermind. Every week they have a guest speaker, or they just maybe they don't have a guest speaker, and the mastermind at 9 o'clock on Wednesday mornings. They're all talking about. Everyone is in that community talking about what has worked for them, what has not worked for them. That's what tears Street Text apart, guys. That's what our business is all about, is building that relationship. When it works and top producers like Misty and myself come here and talk to you guys about it, they give us the opportunity to say, okay, Janki, what has really been working in your market area? Share with the team. And it's so good to share. In our industry, people always want to compete. Stop competing. Let's share what's working and grow each other again and make it a win-win for everybody.
Misty, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that is a big part of what sets Street Text apart is it's rip off and duplicate. It's like, why do I need to reinvent the wheel when we're all figuring out what works better? And then we're all just kind of doing the same thing and getting better and better with time. But I will tell you also, I don't know what the magic secret super sauce is behind the scene, but the leads are just better. I've done home value leads for, I don't even know how many years, for a very, very long time. Love them, like I said previously, but these are just better. And I don't know why, and I don't really care because they just are. So I'm just going to go with it. And then we've got the coaching that helps us to convert them. So yeah.
I appreciate it. And just so you guys know, anybody here, we're a Facebook preferred partner. All right. It's not like we haven't been at it. We generated 3.5 million leads since 2015. So we spend a lot of money in Facebook to tap into their algorithm, and we work with them closely too. So that's an advantage as well, as you're not trying to put on your marketing and advertising hat. Like the funnels have already been trued and tested. For example, the funnel right now that a lot of people are testing, even when they begin the trial, 20,000 tests this last month alone, and even with bad practices, still sitting at 60% click to contact ratios. And like, someone can come to me and say, hey, I got this great ad and it's working and it's crushing it and great. I'm like, but can you do that 20,000 times and consistently get these type of numbers? And then tell me, are you running Facebook lead ads? Are you running a dynamic lead capture? Walk me through your automations. Walk me through your email autoresponder, your drip email campaign, your SMS, like how are you cultivating this relationship? What's this look like from the automated standpoint to the way you're personally responding? And then how you nurturing it a long time. If someone just said, hey, I don't want to sell for the next 6 months. And so
what is the process of nurturing, right? Yes. What is your system? What really is your system? What are you building out here, right? I think that is important also, Marcus. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, please do.
I am right there with you, is that they help you, and they really sometimes, people, like I've had so many Street Text clients call me, so many realtors calling me saying, I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that. And I provide them that help because, again, I don't work for Street Text, but I'm coming from contribution to help somebody, help a realtor that needs that help, right? In educating them how to build and cultivate that relationship. What is conversions all about? And how do you take it from here to there? I think it's very important, right, in our business to build relationships with our clients.
Well, two key phrases that I've been hearing is the idea of collaboration. We're going to get further together than we are going to get trying to compete against each other. The second thing is contribution and like giving and coming from a giving spot. So that being said, a lot of people get stuck at like, what is it that you exactly say? Like, what is that conversation? And Janky did something powerful in one of our masterminds I think it was 2 ago, where she did a little bit of role playing. And I think it was like an aha moment for people where like, you're so used to just giving people your script of what you want out of something that you forget about relationship is built on conversation. And what was powerful about it was, instead of knocking on someone's door physically, like a lead that came through street text, and knocking on their door physically and just giving them your pitch, just start a conversation with them.
Right.
Ask them question after question after question. So what types of questions are you two asking? Like, even if you want to share your scripts and those first communications that are going out, what are the questions that you feel like are starting a conversation that has value to it?
Misty?
For us, and probably because I've been doing this for a very long time, but you guys mentioned it earlier, it's not about our agenda. I'm an agent. I have lots of tools and I have lots of resources to help people sell their house. But when I'm coming in to talk to anybody, it doesn't matter if they've come in on a, buy my house now, or a, street text, home value lead, or an expired, or whatever it is. It's tell me what you're looking to do, because I can help you and I have lots of options. And when you come at them with, like, I don't have an agenda. I don't have this one single mind where I've got to list your house to get a commission. No, I don't care if I list your house or not. If I can help you connect to a buyer and I get paid because I represent the buyer, like, it matters none to me. Maybe I want to buy your house. Maybe I have an investor that wants to buy your house. But coming with options is really important, and getting out of that one track mind.
And that could be a renter. It could be a nosy neighbor clicking on the ad. It could be a potential buyer looking at that ad. I mean, we can't always assume. So we need to create a discovery moment and just come from contribution and just be a resource, no matter who clicks on that ad, even if it is a fellow peer, right? Like at the end of the day, we're just so used to and get frustrated and mad about who's clicking on this, but Facebook's doing their best. And you got to remember, you got to reinforce good algorithm when you're getting leads that you like, and you got to reinforce bad by pausing an ad that is getting leads that you don't like. I mean,
Michelle is an example of that in our insider group. The other day, she was sharing, I drove by a street text lead and I was like, oh, look at that overgrown mess, like blood. And she almost thought about not following up with the person. Well, she followed up with the person. It was a granddaughter who had 7 properties to sell, not just the one. Was that an important follow-up for her? Absolutely. What was the difference? The story she told herself. What if she decided this isn't worth my time? How many times have you decided something isn't worth your time, but pursued it anyways and had a good result? Right. So like Janky, what's your conversations that you're using in terms of questions to find out where people are at?
Well, let's role play right now. Let's role play. I'm gonna be the random person scrolling down the newsfeed. Okay. Mm-hmm. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go into a random ad on Facebook. Okay. And I'm gonna pretend that I was just scrolling on my newsfeed, and take me through the process. Because ultimately, here I am, on my phone, right, doing my thing, just scrolling down my Facebook, and I see this ad, and it just appears in front of my newsfeed, and I'm like, I have no idea at this moment that this is a person behind it. I'm just seeing my map, of an area that I live in, and I'm just curious. It says, what's your home really worth? Your address, receive your home value. So here I go. And I'm on my phone, right? I'm showing you guys this as a desktop presentation, but most of this time it's happening on the phone. So I'm like, okay, here's my address, 133 Glen Ridge Avenue, because I grew up in Los Gatos, Janky. So if you want to sell my home in Los Gatos on the street, go look it up. It's pretty nice.
Will do.
Okay. And so here we go. I'm in Los Gatos, California. Now I'm like, oh, they want my email. Okay, so I have to give my email, and that makes sense because they want to send me the property evaluation. So I'm gonna give you email permission to contact me. Remember, we got to think about this from the perspective of the homeowner. We're always thinking about being the realtor here, but let's think about the experience. Okay, next. Oh, okay, well, I don't know if I want to give you my information. So you might get leads that stop here, right? And that's why the idea, as we know, of getting that, no matter what happens, the email is collected, you fire off that video experience. So they know you're being genuine and where you're looking to connect, even if it's back on Facebook Messenger, there'd be a great opportunity there. But back into the funnel, if I do provide information, hey, my property condition is good. I'm going to give you some age, like, hey, it's 10 years old, new kitchen, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, sell date. I don't know, this person might be soliciting my business. I'm just going to say just curious, but I actually could be selling really fast. Next. Okay. Now here I am. I can submit my phone number. So we got to remember there's phases. Like if the address is only collected, that's going to be collected. If the email and address, that's going to fire off your automatic drip campaign. If they get to this place, obviously this is the home run, because now you get an AI component that automatically texts the lead within 3 minutes, and they can even schedule an appointment. Okay, so let's just say at this moment, I have an AI that fires off, okay? The text message is sent out directly to me, and it basically, you know, you can design that any way you want, but you're gonna see that people will respond to that, and you'll get all these different types of responses. So what do you do at that moment? You get that phone number, and here I am, you know, assuming that I'm going to my inbox to get my CMA or whatever it is, or an automatic CMA. So let's begin from that moment.
Okay,
all right?
So I'm waiting for that email to come through, right? And I'm scrolling down saying, come on, come on. The first thing I do is click on that saying, okay, now I'm calling you. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is John Key with eXp Realty. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Who's this?
This is John Key with eXp Realty. By the way, am I speaking to Marcus?
Yeah, this is Marcus.
Hi, Marcus. So thank you for clicking on the Facebook ad that we just received that you were looking for a home evaluation for your home. What I want to do.
Yeah, I was just curious.
No problem. No problem at all. And I just want to provide you with the information that you asked me for. So what I'm going to do, Marcus, is I'm just going to send you a one-page CMA, which is comparable sold properties in your area. Is that okay with you?
Oh, absolutely. That'd be awesome. Thanks.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, have a great day. I just wanted to give you this information. Is there anything, if there's anything I could do to help you, please email me, call me, text me. I'm available for you.
You bet. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Well, Jakey, what if he doesn't call you back? Well, what if you never get to talk to him again? What if he erases the email?
Perfect. No problem. Because
Exactly.
guess what? My ISA is already beginning to put him on a drip campaign, right? In my Firepoint database, right? And at the same time, I have a system. 3 days later, I'm going to text Marcus or I'm going to email him something that automatically goes out through the drip campaign. But then 7 days later, or even 10 days later, according to my system, I will call him. I will give him a quick call saying, hey, I just wanted to let you know that 123 Main Street, right across the street from you, sold for $2.5 million. So I just wanted to know if you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell or invest in real estate in your area. Again, I'm asking you a question. I'm not prodding for your information, but I'm telling you that 123 Main Street just closed for $2.5 million. Now, some kind of antennas are going up here, right? Oh, 2.5. Maybe, just maybe, I might be interested, right? But you're not going to tell me that, Marcus, right now. I'm here to ask you a question. Then 12 days later, I'm going to provide you some more information. You see, it's a system, but then I'm being consistent. If he says, you know what, don't follow up with the phone call. If I'm ready, I'll go ahead and call you. Not a problem. I'm going to try another way. I'm going to snail mail you. So I'm going to consistently give you something or the other of value before you tell me, hey, I'm not interested, leave me alone.
Love it. I love it. And here's the thing, when you do send me something, make sure that wherever you send that email, that it's going to be open. So you're attaching tracking behind it. That's a key component of email communication, right? Do not let an email just go with making sure it's being open, being received. And if you have video content in it, it's being played. That's the idea of tracking. I know a lot of people now that they've hacked it in the sense of they send that video or that CMA and that one-page report, then they send another email 10 minutes later, just making sure they received it.
Right.
And then here's another great strategy. You send something up in the mail, following up with that one-page report so they have a hard copy, but then you also acknowledge, hey, just in case you didn't miss it, check your email. I sent the CMA to you with a video on this day and time.
Right.
Oh, and hey, by the way, here's a $5 gift card to Starbucks. Thank you so much. Have a coffee on us, right? And these are for people that might have, some time sensitivity. They said immediately, or you had a great conversation. You're just kind of hey, here's a little gift from us, right? It leaves a great impression.
So we do that, sending them out a note card. Again, sorry for the interruption, but I'm so much into this. But what we do is we send out a note card after my conversation I've had with them, whatever kind of conversation. I say, thank you for your time. It would be my pleasure to work with you. And, if you need anything in the future, please do let us know. Here's a $5 gift card. Have some coffee on us. Something.
The key to all of this communication is that you're confident in your delivery of it. Because the fact that sometimes what happens is we're so desperate for this to work that we make the conversation about us. Like, that's why I said, what do you mean? That's all? You're going to hang up on them now? You have them on the phone. Like, you need to list it. And it's like, no, you've done this business long enough. You know the success leaves clues. And the clues to success is that I have the mindset that it doesn't matter whether this turns into a transaction. It matters that I'm having X amount of conversations on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to start checking off that box. I'm going to start saying, how do I start conversations with new people? How do I keep conversations going with new people? And how do I keep that action in my day-to-day and knowing that it's going to pay off, knowing that you're not going to have some people you are.
So good, Ira.
Remember, and that key is, where are they every single day, guys? Where are they every single day? They're on Facebook, in their newsfeed. Right. They're not sitting in their inboxes waiting for your email or your drip email campaign or their HomeBot report once a month. I mean, that's all great added values. But the key is connection so that you can build that relationship. And so ultimately, just like with most of your clients at this point, you guys are connected on Facebook. You should initiate that connection, not from your business page, but from your personal Facebook. Because if you can connect through Facebook Messenger, now that becomes a living, breathing CRM for you. You're basically having the ability to see when they're home. You can send your communication, your PDFs, your video, your voicemails. Everything moves into a place where they get to know you and like you and essentially trust you. You want to be seen as more than just the realtor.
Right.
And I think that's the day and age we live in. We need to be authentic and genuine and transparent, because ultimately they're going to get to know you, and that's going to be a big part of that. And so when they're going to start liking you, obviously the trust comes in after that through the contribution and so forth. And there you go. You have a phenomenal system that builds your business.
Right. And I also do from time to time add them on different social media, right? I'll try to add them on LinkedIn, or I'll add them on my business page. Once we have a conversation going, I'll try to friend them so they know that I'm a real person. I'm not only a realtor, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a dog lover. They'll get to know me. I will get to know them, right? On a personal relationship level, right? As a friend. So it's so important to create that. And our ISAs, obviously, like I said, the minute, so I just want to really quickly, and I'm going to put this out there, but this is my schedule for today. I don't know if you guys can see this, but these are my phone appointments for today. And this is all on my calendar. Look at my evening, right? These are all the phone appointments and showing appointments that have been set on my calendar by my ISAs. While I'm talking right here, I've got 16 messages on WhatsApp between my ISAs and us, right? Which I can't really respond to at the moment. But again, they'll have questions about, okay, I called this person, this was the question, help us answer it, right? Because I'm doing script and role play with them daily. Their mindset is there. They're in the moment, in the focus moment that they want to get the conversions going, right? So again, when they put this phone appointment for me, or you have that conversation and you book yourself a phone appointment with your client, be prepared. Don't bombard them on the first time around, right? Baby steps.
Baby steps. So what would be the baby steps for anybody who's just starting, on this webinar, looking at, figuring out, okay, so where do I even begin? Should I start now? Most people, it's like the holiday season. Should I start building my pipeline now? Or should I wait till the new year? Where do we even begin here?
I would say, Misty, please help me out here, is I would basically say, why wait? That's what I would say. Why do you want to wait? I think you should do it now, because you are going to generate business and create business for the spring. Remember, we're always working for 30, 60, and 90 days, right, Misty? So we have to create the business today in order to make it happen from 60, 90, 120 days. Holidays are going to come and go, and you're going to be in the spring market. Then what, right? So start now.
We're in the fourth quarter too, you guys. Our team is doing a big push on listings because we all know what we do in the fourth quarter is we're not going to see the results until the first quarter of next year. So inventory levels are so low across the US.
Yep.
We need listings. I don't care where you're at. You need more listings. You're crazy if you don't start today.
Right. I totally agree. Start today. Why wait?
What would be the recommended steps to set up and try street text? What would you do? Start with the trial, set up a split test. What would you recommend, Jinky?
I would say I started with a trial, but I wish I hadn't wasted that time. In the first try, I just went straight with the I think it was 1900 markers. I don't know what the level packages are, but I just went straight in and I said, okay, I'm giving it all. And I just started. I even purchased Donna Swansea's course at that time, which I hardly watched it. And again, I'm bad at that, but I created my own systems through this. So I would say dig right in, even with the trial period. If you get those leads, now what? What are you going to do with those leads, right? So if you dive right into it and get these leads, create these splits, the split ads, and your coach will help you with that. And then I would say, if you're going to do this, do it full-heartedly or don't do it at all. If you're not going to follow up, if you're not going to follow the systems, if you're not going to focus on listings and buyers, don't do it. Just let it go, leave it alone. But if you're serious about your business and you're serious about your next first quarter in 2021, and you're serious about ending your fourth quarter with a bang, look, we are ending it with probably 10 transactions from now until December 31st, easily. There's no questions about it. So all our buyers agents are really busy. Myself, I'm a listing agent. I'm completely busy. So if you want to create that business inventory for yourself, do it now.
So anybody's wondering, we always onboard everybody with a trial. You're welcome, obviously, to sign up, but the trial is free to try street text. You get the coaching, you get the training, you get the Facebook community, you get the masterminds, the demo, all of it. And it doesn't matter if you sign up or not, you have that for life. That's part of us giving back to the community. So streettext.com, you set up your free trial. We help you set up your split test. You're assigned a coach. We invite you into our Street Text Insider group, similar to probably your experience with LabCoat. And all of it is based around supporting one another. It's a contribution community.
Right.
And we want to do a one-on-one with you as well. So as you're assigned a coach, we're helping you set up your ads properly so they tap into Facebook, but you quickly realize, okay, I can get leads generated. Let's focus on my process. Let me make sure my brand is front and center. I update my email signature. Maybe I'm embedding video. I'm thinking about, if I'm using FirePoint or Follow Up Boss, or I want to use HomeBot. How do I involve all these systems and really make it a beautiful machine that, comes from contribution? And then you have people like Janky and Misty that come and help you kind of start with the mindset as a shift, so that you're setting yourself up to win. And I
think you're always, like I always say, you're always going to find yourself on the side of the road where you're going to be able to find people that are going to critic with you. Like whenever you're in an arena, if you're sitting in the sidelines, you're always going to be able to find people to complain about why something isn't going to work with you. But there's people like Misty and Janky who are so generous and abundant with their time, where they're saying this is working. So you always have the opportunity to then come and see what clues are being left to their success. And then instead of listening to the ones that are saying this isn't working, I'm going to confirm my already embedded beliefs. Like Janky, you could have said, I lost my home, I did this, I'm a failure, like everything fell to pieces. But you obviously at some point changed the story about where this was going to head, which is building, like we always try to change the behavior first, right. But it's the behavior, you behave from where you believe. Right. So you side with people like Janky who are telling you how they're doing this and making that transition.
And my biggest cheerleader was always my dad, who passed away in January 2019. And of course he passed in my arms, but when he passed, the only thing I could think of is every time you fall, you better get up, kiddo. And that resonates with me every single day when I'm making these phone calls, or when someone says no to me. Let's go, get up. Sometimes it's just a mindset shift. The Eye of the Tiger song always plays with me, always, constantly. Before I go on a listing appointment, I jazz myself up. Like, I got this, I could do this. And you know what? Every time, Misty, I'm sure you'll agree with this, every time you go on a listing appointment, you're a human. You do need someone to hype you up, right? So again, it's a mindset shift, and you have to you have to do self-talks, you have to do affirmations, you have to pick the bold law for the day. You have to do this in order to really resonate with someone and build that relationship out there. Again, you might agree with me, you might disagree with me, and that's okay. But this is what I do, and this is how I keep myself going.
I think that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, and we welcome you to our weekly masterminds, because here you're going to get more of Janky and Misty and, dozens and dozens of other people actively converting street text leads and kind of giving you their insight. Because everybody, there's no one way to do this. Just like there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, there's 1,000 ways to follow up with a lead, but you actually have to follow a way that really is authentically you.
Right.
I can give you Janky scripts and Misty scripts, but it's not necessarily gonna be the way you do things and the way your follow-ups. And we talked about that personality profile that, I'm a DI. You're gonna be doing things a little bit differently than someone who's, more analytical. So you got to read people too, and you're going to ultimately figure out what's your best strength and put that front and center, but most importantly, make it all about them and not about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Right. I totally agree with that too.
Yeah, I love that you talked about that, how you went to LinkedIn to see the profile of the person, because it gave you an idea of who you were talking to. So opposed to just starting a conversation and being like, hi, this is about me, and can we talk about me and what I want? You were like, hey, let me get to know this person a little bit. That's the advantage of a Facebook profile. I mean, I've had calls, here at Street Text where somebody, you're bombarded with opportunities as agents. So a lot of people are like this when you first start talking to them. But when I see that they have Paw Patrol in the background and their kids are running around, I'm like, oh, I understand where you're at right now. You have way too many hats to wear. I have the Paw Patrol's hung in my head right now, and I haven't been able to get rid of it for 16 days. It starts making this a human thing. And at the end of the day, people do transactions with humans. They're going to click because they might want something automated. Now's the opportunity to go and make it about them. Look them up on LinkedIn, find out who they are, and just call and if there's ever a time to genuinely serve people with the amount of stress and anxiety people are holding on to right now today, you could just be the light at the end of someone's day today. Is that okay with you? Even if they never do a transaction with you, I'm sure someone like Janky, who's motivated by her dad, is going to say, I know I've reached my goal. If I made someone's day today, I know I've done a good job. I know I can put my head down on my pillow and know I've done something good, and that's going to come back to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about real life stories, even yesterday when we wrote 5 offers and we got 2 that didn't go through, it was an emotional pull to tell a buyer that, hey, your offer didn't get accepted, because they were so excited about it. But again, that is the difference, is that what kind of conversation are you having with them, and how are you saying it? Are you coming from empathy? That is so important. We tend to forget these things. We're like, okay, next, let's go next. No, think about that empathy factor as well. So talking about Street Text, talking about coaching, talking about courses, they provide everything. But again, it's about that relationship building. And like I said, find their information out, who they are, before you hit that phone, pick up that phone call really quickly if you can, what kind of profile they might have. They might not lead with that particular disc profile. They might be totally different. So it just depends on what kind of investigation have you done about them. Like, I knew Marcus was a DI, but I heard his tone as well. No, I'm not. Okay, not a problem, sir. I'm just providing you information. Of course, he's not going to say no when you want to give someone something for free. They're not going to say no, will they? Think about that, right? So it's coming from that contribution factor and giving them what they did not expect from you, and they will be so grateful for that.
And we all
not expecting anything back from them too. I can't tell you how many leads we've had come in that we end up not selling that person anything but their brother or their sister or their mom or their cousin. And we get more deals that way just by being nice and being kind, and exactly what you just shared, Janky. I think that's amazing. And instead of chasing that one thing, really realize that one conversation could lead to many opportunities.
And asking the right questions too, Misty, right? I mean, if they're just clicked for curiosity, well, okay, not a problem. When you come to day 14, ask them, by the way, who do you know? It's not, do you know anybody? It's who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest, or someone I can help, you know? Come from that angle. They'll definitely think about it. And that's what Street Text is all about, is mastermind. Having these mastermind sessions every week. We talk about these things, you know. Disc profile, I think the last time when I shared that with them, everyone had an aha moment, right? Marcus and Ira, and we started I just started saying, okay, you're a DI, you're this, you're that. And we just made a fun mastermind out of it. But what was the knowledge behind it, right? That was powerful for us. And I also got to know my coaches like Marcus and Ira, and I got to know Jonathan a little bit. Still, we have to think about what profile he is, you know. But again, it's fun to kind of talk about this.
Yes, yes. And remember, let's take it way, 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 way back. It's all about winning friends and influencing people.
Right.
And so when we go back to that principle, we got to recognize everybody is at their own, they're wearing their own sunglasses and seeing life through that experience, right? And some people have been pretty badly burned by sales people.
Right.
And they've, you know, made the wrong interaction, made the wrong decision. So they're so guarded. They're so guarded. They're not even letting you in. And some people are like, hey, I got to go now, relationally, financially, physically, they have to make the moves. So you're going to get a mix of all things. You got to treat them all differently and
right.
Realize it's on their time, not yours.
Exactly. And providing them with what they want based on their profile. Like, you know, someone came in last week and said, listen, I asked them point blank, what do you do for a living? Because their guards were down. I could ask them that question. And they said, well, I'm a engineer, but my wife is a CPA. Well, now I know exactly what to serve them. That's, I know.
And who's the decision maker in the home?
Right, exactly. And that's something you have to do your homework, asking the right questions.
Well, we'll end there because I know it's just past the hour. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Misty. Thank you, Janky.
Always a pleasure.
The next step.
Thank you for having us, Marcus.
Yeah, our pleasure. The next step is just to, simply go to streettext.com, set up a free trial, and I recommend don't even set up the ads until you actually check out the demo. Make sure you're setting them up properly. Let a coach actually assist you in getting those ads set up when you do the trial, so that when you do end up letting Facebook spend your money, you're effectively tapping into Facebook the right way and not letting them just spend your money. And then with that, you're assigned a coach that will help you develop your individual process, not anybody else's, but your individual process. And we'll go from there.
And we learn constantly every single day here at Street Text. More and more things are coming out. More people are masterminding together. I can go on and on, but guys, do it. If you want to see your business increase and, want to see it really get into 2021, I'm still stuck on 2019, but 2021, please do sign up, because look, Misty and I are just cheerleaders here because we've seen the production and we've seen where it's taken our business.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.